walk you through the proper usage and care of your Zenith Defy Classic Skeleton. This is a timepiece that does wind itself automatically by means of case-back winding mass, but should you choose to wind the watch manually, for example, if it should run down or should you wish to top off its 50-hour power reserve all the way to the top, simply turn the crown in its first position flush to the case. I'll get a little bit closer and illustrate that of which I speak. Turning that crown in a clockwise direction 20 to 30 turns will be sufficient to start the movement. And now at this point you can set the time, set the date, and the watch will continue to use the kinetic action of your wrist to wind itself. That's what the case-back winding mass does. But I should also note that you can wind the watch all the way to the max. Simply continue turning. Eventually you will hear a subtle click or tick from within the watch. That is the bridle style mainspring slipping by design. You can't accidentally overwind the watch, so just wind until you hear that click or tick. You can also feel a tangible change in the resistance of the crown when the bridle slips. Now the watch features a stop seconds mode that allows you to set it precisely against a reference time. Just stop the seconds hand right at the top. I like to stop it at 12 o'clock, and then what you want to do is you want to find an online reference that's super accurate to your time zone. I prefer atomic clocks. They're usually maintained by governments and they have web pages where you can look up the time where you are. So let's say, for example, that it is 4:35 where I am. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the correct hour and then the next nearest minute. So I'm actually going to set 4:36. Now, you're going to wait a maximum of 60 seconds for that reference time to catch up to the time you've set. And the moment hours, minutes, and seconds coincide between your watch and the reference, push the crown back down, resume the beat of the balance. Now you've synchronized to a reference time. The watch also features a date. Hiding right there at 6 o'clock, there is a backlit panel that effectively illuminates the current date, this being the 23rd. Now there is a position between winding, which is flush to the case, and setting, which is 2 detents or 2 bump stops all the way out. And that position intermediate is called quick set. So quick set allows you to set the date in either direction without rolling through the date change. So you don't have to actually move the hands to set the date. Just keep in mind that this bidirectional quick set system must not be used between the hours of 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. as that is the period during which the watch is automatically engaged in jumping its date display. It takes a few hours because it uses up a lot of power, and you don't want the watch to slow, so it takes a few hours to change the date. Don't attempt to use the quick set between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. If you must change the date in the middle of the night, pull the crown out all the way to the setting mode and roll the watch all the way through the date change out of the 4 a.m. danger zone and then set the date that way. There are a few areas of handling that can go a long way towards enhancing both the longevity of the watch and your enjoyment of the watch. Water, magnetism, and shock need to be discussed. Water first, because it's probably the single greatest hazard to a fine timepiece. This watch, rated 100 meters water resistant, you know that because it says so on the case back, is suitable for swimming. However, leather, as featured on the strap, is a natural porous material that is never water resistant. Therefore, you should put the watch on a water resistant band. Zenith offers full water resistant bands in rubber prior to aquatic use, and if the leather ever gets moist or wet, wash it and dry it quickly with a soft cloth. Important to note that you can help avoid accidental drowning of your watch. When the watch is submerged, obviously, but also when the watch is simply wet. Treat a wet watch as a submerged watch. Don't turn the crown, don't withdraw the crown, don't wind, don't set until the watch is completely dry. Doing otherwise can bypass the seals of the case and introduce water to the interior of the watch. Expensive and troublesome. Magnetism, unlike water, is invisible, but it's ubiquitous and a serious threat to the well-being of your watch. You'll find magnets everywhere, static magnets in speakers and subwoofers, including the speakers embedded in the keyboard of your laptop. You'll find static magnets in the closures of wallets and purses and refrigerator doors. Electromagnets that create an electromagnetic flux are also a problem. Powerful personal devices, wiring harnesses or wiring looms. And of course, it goes without saying, if you work in proximity to a medical MRI, keep your watch remote from all of these sources. A watch that's been magnetized will have its ferrous hairspring at the center of the balance wheel altered such that the watch will run erratically, either very quickly or very slowly. But if you suspect due to erratic running that your watch has become magnetized, take it to a Zenith authorized dealer or service center where specialized equipment is available to quickly and easily demagnetize your watch. Shock and concussion, however, can cause more permanent changes to your timepiece. all of them adverse. Minimally, it may cause deviation from correct timing. The watch may not keep good time. Maximally, you can damage the water resistance, physically damage the case, crack or eject sapphire crystals, or even stop the movement, necessitating expensive service. Therefore, Zenith recommends that you keep the watch remote from concussive sports such as batting, tennis, or golf. Disuse the watch during firearms marksmanship or during the riding of ATVs, snowmobiles, and mountain bikes. Finally, every fine mechanical timepiece does require a periodic full service. This will involve restoration of factory case finish, replacement of worn straps, restoration of water resistance, as well as cleaning, oiling, and adjustment of the movement so it keeps excellent time. This, if necessary, should be performed solely at a Zenith authorized service center. A good time to have everything checked is during your watch's annual water test. Should service be necessary, service exclusively with authorized centers, as these agencies solely have the factory-trained personnel, factory replacement parts, and specialized tools to protect the value of your watch as both instrument and as investment. Moreover, only these agencies are authorized to back all labor and parts invested in the service with a Zenith factory service warranty. Finally, visit our website at govbergwatches.com and call, text, or email our experts who will be happy to walk you through every phase of the usage and care of this or any Zenith fine timepiece.